So we just have to play really fine football in order to have a shot at going to the Grey Cup.
Never satisfied. Never satisfied these coaches.
Well, with 3:08 left in the third quarter, it's second 3.5 to give us to James Sykes. He should have the first down. He's inside the 20-yard line, stopped there by Tony Norman. Hugh Campbell, head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos, thank you very much for dropping by, and good luck next Sunday afternoon in that Western Final.
Thank you very much.
A measurement will be required to determine whether or not this is a first down for the Stampeders. From our vantage point, it appears as though it should be enough, and it is.
You know, Don, of all of the coaches that I've been associated with and have seen in the 20 years that I've been around Canadian football, I don't think any of them have been any more innovative or have done a better job than the guy we just talked to.
I think he's got a Grey Cup commitment written into his contract.
Yeah, I think it's just part of the schedule.
James Sykes again down to about the 14-yard line.
I can hardly believe it down here on the sidelines. Nick Vistaya, number 65 of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, is in short sleeves. He hasn't put a coat on all afternoon, and it is really freezing down here. But I guess they build him tough.
He's got muscles on his muscles, hasn't he? Look at those biceps.
Anyway, the weather is not affecting that gentleman.
Well, Vistaya's from Russia, that's why.
Second and 4. Sykes again, and James Sykes is forced out of bounds at the 3-yard line. This drive for the Stampeders started back in their own 9-yard line after the fumble recovery.
Well, Sykes just does a fantastic job, although he's got the ball in the wrong arm here. It could get pulled out when he's carrying it on that inside arm. Just does a fantastic job. Veers to the outside right here, pulls away from a defender, and just his momentum carried him out of bounds where he would have gone in for the touchdown.
Second and goal. Stan McCallus in for Paul Bennett. Rob Forbes fights his way to about the 1. Did I say second and goal? It was first and goal from the 3-yard line. It's now second and goal from the 1.
Rob Forbes has done a tremendous job for the Calgary Stampeders as a blocker. He's catching the ball now very well coming out of the backfield, and they're using him on short yardage situations too. Jack Goad is very high on this young man, thinks he's got a great future.
This has been a great drive that the Stampeders have put together. Second and goal from the 1. Forbes again. No indication yet from the officials. They did drive him back. So it will be third and goal, Calgary. Forbes tried to go up and over, but that Bomber defensive line threw him back. There's not much doubt about what the decision is at that Calgary bench.
Well, they're pretty crowded in there. He tries to go over the top, but Reggie Pearson's sitting right back in there waiting on it, it looks like. Got a good hit on him and stopped him, so they're still 1 yard away.
Put a little bench press on him, Ron.
Third and goal from the 1. Sykes going outside. No, he didn't make it. They stopped him. Vince Faison was the first man to make contact with James Sykes at the 1 yard line.
I like to see that one over again because all you have to do is get that ball on that white line.
I'd like to see this one. I want to look at this one pretty close.
There it comes.
He gets
right
outside. Here. I think they might be right. I don't think he made it. When he hit the ground, I don't think he was there.
Let's take another look at it right here. Well, he sure did.
That's a great call. He did not make it.
You got to go with the officials.
That is super. I'll tell you, I thought he was in, but on this replay,
his
he
body
definitely
was in, but his
wasn't in.
arm and the ball was behind him, and the ball made contact on the green without breaking that plan.
Great call.
And on what should be the final play of the third quarter, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers move it up the middle for a gain of about 1. A tremendous goal line stand to finish off the third quarter. 15 minutes is the time left in this semifinal. Have in store for them because the Bombers tried to shut out the Stampeders when they had the wind at their backs, and they succeeded in doing so in both the first quarter and the third quarter. And now Winnipeg is a 2nd and 8 situation. Murphy makes the catch at the 25.
Brock threw that one. Boy, he drilled it in there.
Yeah, that looked like the old Brock on that one, and it was the same post pattern. And Murphy's been running all afternoon. He just went down and just bent to the inside. Brock used a play-action fake and just drilled it in there, as you say, and hit him right on the numbers.
You know, it was interesting, Ray Yawkin talking about James Murphy. He didn't get too excited. He just said, I think this young man might show you a few things tomorrow afternoon, when he was describing his abilities yesterday. William Miller fights his way to the 32-yard line. Pickup of about 6.5.
And I know Jack Goda is sure, standing over there on the sidelines right now, that Sykes got into that end zone and scored, but Fred Haywood, our ISO director, did a fantastic job on that, and there's no question in anybody's mind that's seen it that the officials made a good call on it.
Second down play for the Bombers with Nate Johnson wide left, Murphy out to the right. Brock is going to go down back at the 25-yard line. Doug Battershill got through from his linebacking position.
Brock's going to have to step up. A little play action. That's all they call. Now he'll step up, and Battershill jumps, and he pulls it down. Now he's in trouble.
I think that we're being kind of lulled to sleep by the fact that Winnipeg has got this ball game in control right now, but there's still 13 minutes and 22 seconds left, and Calgary's going to have some pretty good field position now.
Well, they need a quick one. They need a big play. Like right here, a punt return. A great punt return right now. It gets some momentum. That's touchdown when they didn't get into the end zone there. That has a depressing effect on a club. They need a big play right now.
Bob Cameron kicking with the win. Harry Kruger at the 42-yard line. Still on his feet. And then finally driven back as he got up to about the 48. That was a kick of 42 yards by Bob Cameron. And the Stampeders will be scrimmaging 1st and 10 from their own 48 when we return. 21-3 is the score.
Chevy trucks are taking charge with a dynamic new lineup of new-size trucks. The Chevy S10 Pickup, S10 Maxi Cab, and S10 Blazer. Taking charge with revolutionary Instatrack 4-wheel drive. Shift from freewheeling 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive high and back at any speed. Try that with Datsun or Toyota. Chevy S10. There's never been a lineup of trucks like it before. Tom Chevy trucks are taking charge.
Picture a cold, frosty mug of beer. Refreshing to the taste, with 60 calories to the bottle. But this beer is definitely different from all the regular beers and the light beers. This is Tri-Light Extra Light. It's low in alcohol, 2.5% alcohol by volume.
Now you can see your way clear. Try Tri-Light, the extra light tasting beer.
Tri-Light, nobody brews it lighter.
Talked about the enthusiasm at that Bomber bench moments ago after the big goal line stand. Vernon Paul is not feeling that enthusiasm right now. He has strained knee ligaments in his left knee, and he's finished for the afternoon.
Well, the Bombers are hoping that Vernon Paul isn't finished for the season if they should advance. They, of course, like to have him in the lineup for next Sunday's Western Final against the Edmonton Eskimos. 1st and 10 Calgary from the 48. He's been a favorite target all afternoon. Willie Armstead is caught at the 52 by Reggie Pearson. Make that Rob Forbes, not Willie Armstead.
He's been a favorite target too, Don.
David Amer comes into the ball game, and Mike McTagg goes out. It will be 2nd and 5 for the Stampeders. Amer comes out wide to the right. Knocked away by Charles Williams. It was intended again for Rob Forbes.
They fooled him, Don. They rolled that corner up that time and dropped the inside halfback deep. And then when you do that, he's sitting out there waiting on that pass. And it's a good thing it was high. Watch Charles Williams. He is sitting there just waiting on this one. Because this is what they've hit Forbes on in the last couple of drives. And he's waiting on that one. Not a bad thing to do. Change that defense every now and then. And I'll tell you, you get people confused.
11:52 is the time remaining in the ball game. 21-3, the Blue Bombers leading the Stampeders. Paul Bennett fields it at the 20-yard line. And he goes down at the 25. A 37-yard kick by Mike McTagg. A 5-yard return by Paul Bennett before he was tackled by Lloyd Fairbanks. 25 years Derek Donaldson has spent with us. Fausto Belwamini, who works with us in Toronto, hasn't been around that long, but we hope that Fausto is able to get back with us next Sunday. Fausto and his wife Janet are undoubtedly looking in this afternoon, and Janet is hospitalized. We wish you a very speedy recovery. It will be 1st and 10 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at their own 25-yard line. Miller has about 3 yards, not much more. Danny Bass, the middle linebacker, halted his progress. Time now, of course, the big factor that the Calgary Stampeders are fighting.
You know, a guy that's played very well defensively at the cornerback position for Winnipeg is Charles Williams this afternoon. He's going to deserve some consideration on our Carling O'Keefe Game Stars.
Second down, Winnipeg.
Ooh.
Almost picked off by Toussaint. It was intended for Rick House, and had Toussaint been able to squeeze it, he had 6 the other direction.
I looked at him today in the hotel lobby, and he is not very big. I'll tell you something, for as physical as he plays out there. But you're right, Don. He picks that one off. That might have been the big play that Calgary has to have, and they got to have it soon. They're down 18 points, and that's a long way back.
You alluded to the size of Toussaint, 6 feet, 165 pounds.
Soaking wet.
Harry Kruger is the lone punt return man back. They were going after the block. They've had some success earlier this year with Toussaint coming from the outside. He was going after it again. Kruger is stopped at the 37-yard line by Scott Flagel.
Next weekend, our CBC television cameras at CNE Stadium in Toronto for the Eastern Division Final. Toronto Argonauts will host the Ottawa Roughriders that afternoon, and we look forward to that telecast to find out exactly who will be representing the Eastern Division in the 1982 Grey Cup. Of course, later that day, the Eskimos will be at home to either the Bombers or the Calgary Stampeders. Looking more and more like the Bombers, guys.
Yes, it is, John. They are now 10 minutes away from a berth in the Western Final against the Edmonton Eskimos. They lead it 21-3. Patilio on first down. Fires over on the far side to R.B. Smith. That should be a first down. They place the ball between the 48 and the 49, where it's 1st and 10 Calgary.
Bombers will be content to give them passes like that right now. Make them use up as much time as they can moving that ball.
Incomplete. It was intended for Willie Armstead. Aaron Brown and Reggie Pearson had both moved over to knock that pass attempt down.
They had the contain pretty well knocked down on the outside here with a couple personal interferers in front of Jerry that time. I thought maybe that he could have exercised the run on that play and made a first down on it.
Well, you know, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had their last Grey Cup success during the Bud Grant regime. Interesting statistic. The Bombers have won just one playoff game since Bud Grant departed the scene in 1966. Alton Alexis on the sidelines has a first down.
It's been a long time between sips of champagne, hasn't it, Don, for these Blue Bomber fans and the Blue Bombers?
Indeed it has, John. I talked about the lone playoff victory for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers since '66. That, of course, was 2 years ago when Winnipeg defeated the Calgary Stampeders right here at Winnipeg Stadium.
Last time in the Western, or in the Grey Cup, was '65. Last Grey Cup was 20 years ago for these Blue Bombers.
First and 10 for Calgary at the Winnipeg 49. Swing pass to James Sykes. He is forced to cut back into the middle. His advance is limited to about 1.5 yards by Aaron Brown. 8:26 now, the time left in the ballgame.
Good job by Pete Caton right here. They try to run that little flip screen out here to Sykes. Watch him make the nice catch. But Caton's out here, and he's got him turned back inside already with Helton back there to help him. And Aaron Brown pulls him down. Don't let him outside.
Good open field tackle by Aaron, too.
2nd and 9 for the Stampeders. The ball just inside the Winnipeg 48. Long throw, incomplete. Intended for R.B. Smith. Knocked away by Vince Faison.
Just got that hand up at the last moment.
Good coverage. Excellent defense. Smith looked like he was going to get away from him, but that hand come up there at the last minute and knocked it down.
You know, this man hasn't missed a ball game since 1975.
That's not bad. There goes the race is on. They turn and look for that ball, and that left hand's up there. Just knocks it out of the way.
He's either real durable or short on money.
Well, he's been very durable. There have been games where he has had some minor hurts, but that has not prevented him from playing. This year, of course, he received All-Star recognition. Paul Bennett lets the ball roll back to the 14-yard line. What an unusual situation this is. Bennett was simply standing there, and those seconds were ticking away. That's a good play by the punt return specialist.
That's knowing your rules, Don.
We have a timeout. We'll be back after this.
I don't have to worry anymore, Dad. I'm going to come and live with you and Rita.
Oh, no!
It seems that nobody's wild about Harry, but they're hanging in Monday.
Statistically, the Bombers also have the edge, 284 yards. Much of it on the passing arm of Dieter Brock, who was quick for 256 yards through the air so far in the ballgame. 7:19 is the time left to play.
This is where Brock likes to rear back and throw that long one.
Quite content at this moment to get to William Miller. Ed McElhaney was there to make the tackle. I don't think we'll be seeing Brock rearing back and throwing it.
He's been very, very patient the second half. He come in with the big lead, and he just kind of try to get the running game going. Throw if you have to, but let's, play conservative, because Calgary has not hurt their defense yet. The Winnipeg defense has played super football, and as long as they're playing that way, don't give them any breaks. Don't give them a chance. That's what Brock says.
You know, in 2 regular season meetings and 1 preseason game, and so far in this playoff game, the Winnipeg defense has given up just 1 touchdown to Calgary. Miller is forced outside by Wayne Harris, and the Bombers will be forced into a punting situation again.
That was like the old Statue of Liberty. Went back to pass and handed off to Miller on the reverse.
It went well last time, but not this time.
Well, the Stampeders should get the ball back around midfield, but they need something quickly. They trail by 18 points. 6:27 is the time left in the ball game.
Well, we've been saying that since the third quarter got underway. Calgary needed a big play, but Winnipeg has not allowed them to have it. And that's about all you can say about it. Winnipeg has played excellent football.
The defensive philosophy of the defensive coordinator, Leo McKillop, bend but don't break. And so far that has been the case. Kruger back to his own 45-yard line. And he is wrestled down by Ken Shantoni near midfield. That was a 51-yard kick by Bob Cameron.
It's been some time since we've watched 24 minutes of football without a point being scored. That score is the same as it was at halftime.
That guy right there, Dieter Brock's not going to be nearly as sore tomorrow. He usually takes a lot of hits when he's throwing a lot, but today he's been very conservative, and he's only taken 2 or 3. He appreciates that in cold weather.
I think he appreciates the fact that they're going to win this playoff game if they do, and that he's engineered it because, as Don said before, their playoff wins have been few and far between.
That pass knocked down by Tony Norman. He's a little distraught. Had he been able to hang on to that ball, he had a touchdown.
Not much doubt about that. That little screen, a little slip out there, but watch 55. Well, if he gets this, he can waltz home. He's a very emotional leader of that Winnipeg defense. And he's got good size at 6'5", 245.
Yes, he has, out of Iowa State via the Minnesota Vikings in September of 1980. On 2nd and 10. This is picked off by Paul Bennett. Bennett was back there playing center field, and the pass was right in his arms. And that, for the Stampeders, could just about be the ball game.
Watch this interception by Bennett. You say he's free, but watch the block coming up. I believe it's Pearson makes on Mike McTagg right here. Just drops him, gets him outside, gives him a little bit of room to run.
Paul Bennett, a Western Conference All-Star, as the free safety. This afternoon, his biggest contribution has been as a punt return specialist. That interception could all but seal the fate of the Calgary Stampeders. William Miller got back to the line of scrimmage. He appeared to have some difficulty in hanging on to the football after taking the handoff from quarterback Dieter Brock. 4:45 is the time left. It's been a cold afternoon at Winnipeg Stadium.
Those guys on the other side of the field in the white jerseys are a lot colder right now than the blue. There's no doubt. Boy, it's a tough feeling when you're standing there looking at clock down 18 and 4 minutes left. That's tough.
And John Wells down on the sidelines, he's walking back and forth like everything's on the square. I don't think he's cold at all.
Not a bit. It's better here than it was 2 years ago, though, guys. Remember, we had the snow and the ice and everything. Just a little bit warmer today.
Things weren't much more pleasant for the Calgary Stampeders then either, John.
The outcome was just about the same, wasn't it?
4:19 is the time left. Dan Hucklack was the intended receiver. Again, Kruger is the lone punt return man back.
They got to go after it. They've got to go after it. They don't have any choice.
Toussaint had some success earlier in the season, as did the Stampeders in blocking punts and field goal attempts. Good kick by Cameron. Kruger back at the 11-yard line. No further. Hit by John Bonk, the offensive center. A 48-yard kick by Bob Cameron. 3:52 the time left. And it's beginning to look as though it will be a Winnipeg-Edmonton Western final. Now, we talked about the Blue Bombers and the fact they have not had much playoff success. They last won a Grey Cup in 1962. The Toronto Argonauts last won a Grey Cup in 1952. Two teams who have experienced a long drought between Grey Cup drinks. But they still have two big obstacles to overcome, Edmonton and Ottawa. Alton Alexis is unable to hang on to the pass. DeTilio completing 21 of 37 attempts.
Mo Simovich just give us the signal that Big John Helton was in there with his hands up.
Something Winnipeg has done more of, as we discussed with Hugh Campbell this afternoon, and we've seen in recent games, is put pressure on the opposition quarterback. The catch is made by Alexis, but he was out of bounds. So with 3:10 left in the football game, the Calgary Stampeders in a punting situation, we've got a timeout.